And this is Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Talking Business, our interview series, talking with leaders in the fields of business education, banking, insurance, customer service, and all to highlight our team at CBSI. We provide insurance-based benefits. We're located in Harrison, New York. Now, today we are really pleased to talk to someone to go back a long way with from companies that we both have worked with, and that is Darcy Bevelacqua, who is CEO of SuccessworksCX. And Darcy, good to see you. How's everything?
Everything's great. Great to connect again.
Very good, very good. Well, tell us about what you do at SuccessworksCX, working with executives over 50, a category I'm in now. A lot of us who've been in the, in the business world for a while.
So primarily I help marketing executives over 50 find new careers or new jobs. What happens is when you first start your career, you're really interested, you're excited just to get a job and be able to move out of your parents' house and pay for yourself. And then you climb the corporate ladder for a while. And then somewhere in your 50s, most people wake up and go, I'm no longer interested in climbing the corporate ladder. I'm really interested in making an impact and having a career that I really love. And so you start questioning what you're doing and wanting to do something else. And I think COVID has also encouraged people to do that. So I help executives who are leaving their careers and wanting to do something else. And either they're leaving because they decide that they are just bored with what they're doing, or they're not being having an impact, or because they've even gotten fired or gotten excessed because the economy changed or they were bought by another company or something like that. So I have a great group of clients, a very diverse set, and it's really interesting and fun to see people realize their dreams and find a job that just makes their heart sing.
What do you find are some of the challenges for executives over 50 as you define the group? One of the points I see is just the technology utilized in business has changed so much between laptops and mobile phones and all the software and apps. How do you help executives really work their way through learning all the new technology?
Well, in fact, people that are older learn the new technology just as quickly as younger people. So there's no big deal about that. And so I do find that older people can certainly learn new things. The idea is to have a growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset of, I can't learn it and I'm too old, then I'm really not going to be able to help you. But if you feel like I am interested and I can learn new things and I'm a continuous learner, then you're going to be fine when you be able to find a new career. Because being a continuous learner means you have to learn new technology, you have to learn new ideas, you have to keep up with what's going on in the news. And then if you're doing all those things, you are going to be prepared and be able to find great market niches that you can go after as you're getting to be older, and have great solutions for them, because younger people don't think of those things.
Are there a couple of key pieces of advice or directions or that you suggest to the executives that you work with on finding new opportunities? I remember one time I heard a job career coach talk about writing a biography of yourself and remembering all the things that you did well and enjoyed doing, and trying to find a new path from that. Are there key techniques that you're using to help executives find a new career path?
Yes, the first one is what I call learning about yourself. If you don't know who you are and your strengths, you really can't go forward. So that has to do with personality tests, value profiles, 360-degree interviews from bosses and peers and subordinates, and understanding what you like and don't like about the jobs you've had. Once you're able to do that, you're able to figure out, where do I really shine and how am I really different than other people that are out there? And that starts to help you set the career direction about where you might want to go. Then once you understand where you're trying to go, then you can rewrite your resume and your LinkedIn profile, and you speak differently about what you want, because now you're much more clear about what it is. But you really can't find what you're looking for if you don't know what it is.
Very good. Now, one of the things that you write on, actually on LinkedIn, is about effectively using social media platforms, especially LinkedIn, which I use. I post quite often, interviews such as this one. How should executives generate visibility using LinkedIn and other social media platforms?
Well, the first thing you want to do on LinkedIn, there's a social selling index score. So you should run your social selling index score, and it will tell you how LinkedIn perceives you, once you know how LinkedIn perceives you, you know how to, whether it's I'm not connecting enough, I'm not connecting with insight, so it gives you the specific diagnostics of where you rank in your industry and what you need to be doing. Then you can figure out what you need to do differently to improve your scores. And you can actually run that score as frequently as possible to see how well you're improving. And the first thing you want to think about is where are you going and who is your target audience? You want to be participating in the social media networks where your target audience exists. So think about if it's families with children, you want to be in a different place than if it's seniors or if it's construction people or whatever. So the first thing, like in all marketers, who is your target audience? That's where you want to be. And you should be communicating in the platforms where your target audience resides.
Very good. Now, how did you get into this field of offering advice and coaching to older executives? How did you get started in this?
I actually had been a CRM consultant for years, and I worked at big companies like Accenture and traveled all the time. And then I worked from some smaller consulting firms and some marketing services firms that we all know. And I was on the road almost all the time. And I woke up one day and I thought I was in California, and it turned out I was home. And from being on the road all the time, I wasn't eating and I started getting high blood pressure. And my doctor said, I think you need to do something different. So I decided it was time to find a job locally. And I actually started asking around and volunteered to be a CMO for somebody. And they said, no, you should go work for my husband, who is an executive recruiter. And my first reaction is, no, I don't want to be an executive recruiter. But I promised myself that I was going to find a new job. I'd say yes to everything, but time box it. So I'd only do things for a short amount of time and see if I liked them. So I said to this person, yes, I'm happy to be an executive recruiter, but I'm only going to do one search. And at the end of that, we'll both figure out if this is a good match for me. And I did my first search for this person, and it was a client I'd actually done consulting for, and I knew. And I did it very differently than he did it, but I was able to get 3 more jobs from it because I told the client that I thought their organization didn't make any sense. The job that I was fulfilling didn't make any sense. The comp didn't make any sense. And since I knew them from before, they were willing to listen to me, and they redid everything. And we got 4 more job searches out of it. And the client met their goals and they achieved what they expected. And the person that I hired got promoted within less than a year. So that was my definition of success. When COVID hit, there was no more executive recruiting. All these people came after me and said, hey, I need help finding a job. I need help finding a job. I started helping people. And I realized I can't help people like an hour or 2 at a time. It's not enough. So I actually got pulled into being a career coach backwards because people kept demanding it from me.
Very good. Very good. Now, one of the things I want to make sure I ask you is you have an interesting background from college, that you were an athlete. You played a couple of sports. You were a captain, and you told me you really enjoyed that. What did you learn from college athletics when you had the chance?
I think college athletics for women is particularly important because, one, you get to be a real team leader. You're responsible for the team and how people coordinate to get to success. And for most women, they don't get strong enough leadership positions early enough. So when they get to work, they really don't know how to step up and take a leadership. And so they sit in the corner, and they're good team members, but they don't lead well.
And how do you see that progressing for women's athletics? Obviously, Title IX just celebrated I think it's its 50th anniversary from being passed in the early 1970s, and the growth of women's sports, but there's still room to go. What do you see when you look at college athletics today for women?
Well, I think one of the biggest advantages for women in college athletics is it really not only does it teach you leadership, but it also teaches you how to win and how to lose, and when you lose, to create better strategies for winning again. And I think there's real opportunities for women in coaching, men as well as women, because I think women are more empathetic and they look at the individual better, and so they're more able to motivate people to achieve their full greatness in ways that men may not be.
Very good. And one of the things you and I both worked at American Express in what we call the Jim Robinson era, when he was CEO and the company was dominating the credit card, travel, and entertainment card business. I had a great chance to learn about how a big company operates. Data support was growing all the time. what was your what was it like for you to be at American Express during that very successful leadership era?
I loved it. What I learned most at American Express in the beginning was really how to use data and insights to make better business decisions and to be a better marketer. And it was very much about learning how to do those things. And so I eventually ended up in the new product development team. And again, I used those same principles to be able to figure out what type of new products our customers would like and what they didn't like. And I thought American Express was a wonderful training ground at that time for learning the basics of direct marketing and doing things the right way and understanding what quality meant and understanding how to review what you've done and figure out new strategies based on the things that weren't working.
Another famous name that you worked at, you have to go back a ways to remember it, was Prodigy. It was one of the first big online ventures, and everyone kind of learned a little bit about on their first laptops or desktop computers how to try Prodigy and and read the articles. And tell us a little bit about Prodigy and the challenges why it didn't continue to be a force in the online industry.
Well, Prodigy was a very interesting place because it was a combination of IBM, CBS, and Sears, and it was originally named Trintex. And I think the biggest obstacles to the success of Prodigy longer term was the fact that it was owned by three large companies who were very risk averse. And so a company is likely to do better when it isn't a real startup and it's like PE funded or VC funded because they're used to risk and they're used to failing and they look as failing as a way to learn. But at a big corporation, when you fail, people feel embarrassed or not comfortable. And so I think the demise of Prodigy was because they weren't willing to take risks to do new things because they were too much entrenched with the old ways of thinking.
And tell us a little bit about. I always look at the amount of technology that has changed during our careers, from use of, yes, desktop computers to laptops to, I always say fiber optic cable was a huge step forward for worldwide data communication, satellites, and now mobile, which has changed everything again in the last really less than 10 years. How have you, what have been some of the key technology changes that you've seen that really made a difference and you had to learn to utilize?
I think more it's getting into what the customers want. So I actually think even something as simple as text messaging made a huge difference in the marketing world in terms of being able to communicate with customers immediately and being able to serve their needs right on the spot. So you could get a little text that says your order is ready for pickup or your your table is ready at the restaurant. So even though that's an old technology, I think that made a huge impact. I think QR codes are finally, even though they're really old, are coming back again, and people appreciate to be able to get to the right site very quickly. And I think Chat GPT is going to be really a big increase for helping customers navigate customer service problems at companies and much smarter than the standard bots that are there now. And people are going to appreciate it because they don't have to wait in line to talk to an agent for an hour and get frustrated.
Well, so good to talk to you, Darcy Bevelacqua, who is the CEO of SuccessworksCX. Tell us again a little bit about the service you provide and key points, maybe a key point of advice that you offer your clients.
For older executives, people say, but there's age discrimination. And the answer to that is yes, there is. So instead of trying to fight that there's age discrimination, the way you have to get around age discrimination is show how you create value and that you're the right person for the job because you have the skills necessary, you don't need any training, and you're good to go right now. And so instead of talking about your age, you should be talking about your skills and your openness to learn new things and your willingness to be a good problem solver and work with people across generations and work with people across the organization to develop new solutions to problems and to be able to be effective and to drive revenue. And if you can speak in those ways, companies will want you. And stop talking about what you don't know and stop talking about your age. No one's going to hire you based on your age. They're only hiring you. Can you solve my business problem and can you do it quickly? That's what they want. And if you can do it, if you're older, they don't really care as long as you know they feel confident that you can actually do it for them.
Well, Darcy Bevelacqua, CEO of SuccessworksCX, good to talk with you. Pleasure to reconnect, and we reminisced about some of our days early in our careers working at American Express, which I take pride in. I was just there a couple of years, but I'm still in touch with people, and it was a great place to learn. Jeff, final thought for us today?
No, my feeling would be the best thing everybody can do, because we're coming into a weird job market now, is be a continuous learner. Never stop learning new things. Always be curious. Always ask questions. Having an open mindset and learning new things is the key to your future and the key to long-term success for all of us.
That's great. Darcy Bevelacqua, CEO of SuccessworksCX. Great to talk with you today. Appreciate your time. I really enjoyed our talk.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
And
it.
again, and thank you. This is Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Talking Business, all highlighting our team. We're based in Harrison, New York. We provide insurance-based benefits to the credit card industry. So thank you for watching and have a great day.